Okay, so today we're going to be doing division with decimal divisors. So the divisor is the number that you're dividing by. It's this one right here. And you can see we've got a decimal in both the divisor and in the dividend, which we've had them in the dividend before, but we've never done one with the divisor. So basically, you do not want that decimal in the divisor. You want to get rid of it. And the way we're going to do that is by taking the decimal and bouncing it to the outside of the number. So if I had 1.2 or 1 2/10 and I moved it over one spot, then it becomes 12. It becomes a whole number. So I've gotten rid of my decimal. Now, in order to be fair, though, if I did it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So if I moved it one place to the right in the divisor, I have to move it one place to the right in the dividend. So I'm only jumping over one number. So it is now here, and I could go ahead and put it straight up if I want to. It's going to be right there in my answer in between where the 5 and the 2 is now. So now I'm going to divide by the 12. So 12 will not go into 2. So I need to make sure that I put my placeholder 0, but 12 will go into 25 2 times. And 2 times 12 is 24. So we're going to take that away, and we get a 1, and we drop down the 2. Okay, so now we have 12. 12 will go into 12 one time. And it does go in evenly, so we have no remainder. So when we're done, my answer is 2 1/10, 2.1. So we're going to go through some more practice problems together. Feel free to pause the video as you go in between problems so that you can work them out. So if you have a whiteboard, you could get out a whiteboard, or if you don't, just get out pencil and paper, copy down the problem, and you can either go through the problems with me, or if you feel more comfortable, you can do it on your own and then just check and see if you got it. Okay, so here is our second problem. So I'm trying to divide by 3/10. So once again, I'm going to move the decimal one place over in the divisor. So now it's going to just be 3, and I have to do it one place over in the dividend as well. And then if you want, you can go ahead and just carry that straight up to where it's going to go in your solution and your quotient. So 3 will go into 6 2 times. Take away the 6. You get 0, drop the 1. So now I'm seeing how many times 3 will go into 1, which it won't go in, but I need to put a placeholder 0 up above. And then instead of taking away 0 and ending up with 1 again, since I already put the 0 up top, I'm just going to drop my next digit from my quotient. So now I have 15. So I'm dividing 3 into 15. That will go in 5 times. Take away the 15. It goes in evenly. So my answer is 20.5. So we're going to get ready for our next problem. Okay, so next problem up. Move the decimal in your divisor. Now, this one does not have a decimal in my quotient. So anytime a number is missing a decimal, we can put a decimal at the end of that number because the 5 is in the ones place. And if I put the decimal at the end, the 5 is still in the ones place in that number. So I put it at the end, but then I do need to move it one place. So it's now going to be here. Now you'll notice there is nothing in that spot, so that's when I'm going to put a placeholder 0. So that gets a placeholder 0. My decimal is going to end up being right there in my solution. So now I'm going to divide 11 into this number. So 11 will not go into the 3, but it will go into 38 3 times. Take away the 33. We get 5. Drop the 5. We're having some issues with that pen there. So drop the 5. It'll go into 55 5 times. We take away the 55. We get a 0. Drop the 0. Now, a lot of people, they stop there because it already went in evenly and they think they're done. However, if I have an empty spot right there up above my, my dividend, I have to have a number in the quotient as well. So the answer is not 35. 11 would go into 0 0 times. So the answer is actually going to be 350. So let's set up for the next problem. Okay, so looking at this next one here, you'll notice that I actually have to jump twice, 1, 2 places, in order to bounce the decimal all the way out of the divisor. So I've got to also do that in my dividend here. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to jump it 1, 2 times. So if you want, you can go ahead and carry it up. It's going to be right there in your solution. So 7 will not go into 2. 7 will go into 24 3 times. Subtract 21, because 3 times 7 is 21. We get 3, drop the 5, and it will go into 35 5 times. Take away 35, and we get 0. So you should have gotten 35 on that one. So set up for your... Okay, so we've got 2 more practice problems that we're going to do together before you do some practice on your own. So on this one, I can see that I need to move my decimal 1 place to the right to get it out of the divisor. Now remember, if we don't have a decimal, we put 1 on the end, because that does not change the place value of the number, and we're going to jump it 1 spot to match the jump that we already did on the left-hand side. So empty spots get 0. So make sure you put that 0 in there. So 5 will not go into 4. It will go into 42 8 times, because 8 times 5 is 40. Now try as you go to keep everything lined up, because when your math starts going crooked, sometimes you end up with mistakes like dividing into the same number twice. So now we're doing 5 into 23, and so that will go in 4 times. We're going to take away the 20. And we've got a 3, drop the 0, and it'll go into 30 6 times. And I got to squeeze it down here at the bottom. It doesn't really fit. I ran out of room. So we do end up with a 0, and the decimal, which we don't really need, would be there on the end. You don't need it because 846 is the same thing as 846 with a decimal. So last problem that we're going to go over together here. So we've got 1 6/10, dividing that into 25 6/10. So we get 1 jump on the left. So 1 jump on the right, and this is going to go straight up here. Okay, so 16 will not go into 2, but it will go into 25 once. I apologize, I'm having to write on my computer screen, which is a little bit difficult. Okay, so the 15 minus 6 is 9. Bring down the 6. And 16 will go into 96 6 times. And so we end up with just plain 16. So you can see some of our answers have a decimal, some of our answers do not have a decimal. But that's basically how you do the division. Now I'm going to be posting a game, an activity, and some practice problems for you to do to hone this skill. Feel free to go back and watch the video again if you don't feel like you got it the first time.